Warning, some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm a therapist who specializes in abused children. Ever since I started seeing my new patient, something has been happening. Part 3, the final part. Submitted by Michaelia Page. So much has happened, I don't know where to begin. We left off where Sam and crew arrived, and another nightmare of a night had ended, so I guess we can start there. Let's do this. Ally and I said in unison. Sam gave us a wry smile. Alright, she said, pulling out a notepad, I have all of Ally's story, and the basics of yours, but I'm gonna have to have more than that. I know it's painful, but I'm going to need to hear all of yours so we can find any and all weaknesses we can use against this thing. I sighed heavily, picking at the last remnants of polish on my nails. As a therapist, I knew she was right, the only way to overcome a past event is to view it open and honestly. To basically dig that broken part of yourself out of your heart and dig the dark decay away, before it has a chance to spread. I looked at Ally. Are you okay listening to this? She gave me a nod, her face stoic and full of love. I gave her hand a squeeze and began. I don't remember much before I was around 7, but I know he was there far before then. His name was... I pause. I hate that name. I brace myself and just blurt it out, telling myself the faster I get this out, the sooner I will be done with this. His name was Greg. He and my mom were meth addicts. The monster was there too, but not at first. It's like it grew stronger the more he ramped up his abuse. My mom knew, I'm sure of it. She was probably too fucked up half the time to care, or if she did, she didn't want to lose all the dope he brought around. I clench my teeth, I hate this part the most. I think she was trying to get clean when I was around 11. I could see the pain and anger start to build in her eyes when she saw the damage he did to me, and she started to try and comfort me. He didn't like that. He would hurt us in every way and make the other watch. I close my eyes, grief for the person my mother was becoming flooding my chest like a tsunami, threatening to wash the strength I did have away. Then an anchor was cast my way. A tiny hand, warm and soft, grabbed mine and held me tight, grounding me. Her love and acceptance all I needed to keep going. She kept defying him though, promising me that one day we would escape. Then one night she came into one of the worst times. He had beaten me so badly that tears could only roll down my swollen face, my broken body incapable of defending myself, even if I wasn't a child. She just snapped. She screamed and lunged at him, fists flying. He just laughed. I tried to speak, to move, to do anything that would help her, but I couldn't. I was in so much pain. Tears escaped my eyes, my heart's feeble attempt to wash away the pain from my memories. She told him we were leaving, that she was going to report him for what he had done to us, and then he stopped laughing. Without saying a word, he grabbed her by the hair and slammed her head into my nightstand over and over and over. Her blood spattered everywhere, mixing with mine. Then he threw her beside me on the bed, and then before the life left her eyes, she just said, "I'm sorry baby. Be strong, and fight H." She was gone before she could finish. That night, he raped me, beat me, did anything he could to hurt me, over and over. I couldn't move for days, but that didn't stop him. While I lay there for almost a week, next to my mother's cold, rotting body, I began to plan. I was 15 when I finally escaped. I was scared, but had heard him telling his buyers over the phone that for $50 a piece, they could do whatever they wanted to me. I knew I had to act. I couldn't let him break away more of me. I decided one of us would die that night, if it was me. Well then, he couldn't hurt me anymore, now could he? So that night when he had me cook him dinner and make drinks, I slipped as many pills in it as I could. I wanted him weak. I smiled at him, pretending he was the best person in the world. The monster raged around me, telling me I was stupid, that he would figure it out, and then I would beg for a death that would never come. Greg seemed pleased with my attention, he even said I could make myself a drink, and I did to calm my nerves. The monster tried to warn him, I think. It slithered around him, and a few times when it brushed against him, I swear I saw his eyes darken. I give a small smile. When he was good and drunk, I told him I was going to bed, and as I expected, he got up to follow, leaning on everything for support. I had to hold back manic laughter, I was so scared. I made it to my room in the attic of our old farmhouse. I walked to my window and let the cool breeze calm me. He stumbled in and came towards me. When he grabbed me, I started to slowly move us, as he started to pull at my clothes. Then I pushed him as hard as I could. I realized then that a box had moved by itself between him and the window, It stopped him from falling out. I knew it hadn't been there a moment before, I swear it hadn't. Panic filled me. He was so angry, and I remember seeing the monster quiver with excitement and slip inside him. His eyes were like the embers of hell then, and his hands wrapped around my throat. I just let it happen at first. Like I said, if he wasn't dying that night, I was. Then I heard her again. She said, "Be brave, baby, fight them." That distracted him, and he looked around, eyes huge. A burst of energy came over me. I pushed and pushed until he was out of the window hanging onto the ledge. He pleaded for me to save him, he begged. I remember feeling almost sorry for him. Then he said it, "Please my sweet baby girl." I screamed "fuck you," and hit his fingers with a block of wood. His grip failed him then, and he fell, impaling himself on the rake of the tractor park just below. Then a shadow darted from his broken body, came up through the window, and caressed my face. "I will taste you again, my sweet baby girl." It almost purred. I spent the rest of my life fighting to forget those years. I convinced myself that the monster was not real, that if I forgot and moved on, it would leave me. I now know that I was wrong, that I didn't want to deal with the pain. I didn't want anyone to see the most broken, pitiful, and shame-filled part of myself. I locked her away. Ally's arms were around me, bringing me back to the present. I had never spoken of half of these things, especially not in anywhere close to this much detail. I was surprised by how much lighter I felt. Like some invisible chain around my very being had broken away. Sam was mumbling, looking over her notes. "I see, I think I know what we need to do." She said something to Kat and Alex. Kat murmured softly back, Alex began to sign his answer. It was then I noticed his scar. A long, raised, pink line around his throat. He must have seen me looking because he signed again. And Sam spoke to me. Alex here had a monster too. His monster hurt him in other ways, but as you can see, the scars it left are just as lifelong. I nodded. Everyone in this room has encountered their personal monsters. I just prayed, Ally, and I would escape ours. Sam began again. "I had a suspicion when I saw Ally stand up for you, and then when you told me you were able to stop your monster when you heard your mother, I knew for sure. To defeat your monster, you have to have hope, love, and strength in your heart, but more than that, you need to not shut yourself out and guard yourself from those who care for you." She gave Ally a wink. Ally here stood up for you, and in doing so knew the pain it would cause her but still acted. She weakened it. Then we came in to help after you had called us, and trusted we would come. She walked over and grabbed my hand. "Just now, you bared the rawest part of yourself to us. You're no longer pushing it away, locking the young, hurt you away in your heart. She is free now, and the hope you carried when you heard your mother call out for you to fight is with you again. We can beat it," Ally said, smiling through her tears. "Yes," I replied, wiping them away. "Together we can." We spoke in hushed tones the rest of the day, and as the sunlight faded, turning the sky into a dark, star-studded canvas, we began our search. We found it there in the attic. It was still slightly shriveled, and had gone up there to lick its wounds and gain strength. It growled menacingly when we approached, but I saw the way it shrank back as we drew near. "You're not going to hurt us anymore," I said, my voice strong and clear, not betraying the knot of fear in my stomach. It chuckled, a low hoarse sound. "Aren't we feisty, sweet baby girl? I guess you didn't learn anything from your mother." It projected an image of my mother, head cracked open, mouth gaping into my mind. I breathed slowly. "I will do this for Ally," I thought. Then silently added, "and for my mother. We are not afraid of you anymore. It doesn't matter what you do, what tricks you try, we are done living in the shadows. We will never cower before you again." It must have said something to Ally, because she paled, but she quickly regained her composure. "She's right," she said, "do whatever you wanna, but we are free. You can't control or hurt us anymore." The monster shrieked, and began to almost pulse with energy. Its features flashed between its own face, teeth sharp, dark dead eyes, then it looked like Greg, then Ally's stepfather John. That's when Sam handed us the thumb we had prepared. It was deadly sharp, and on paper, we had tied around the hilt we had written our hopes and dreams, our goals for the future, and about the love we had for each other, and everyone we had lost or still had. Together we walked forward, both of us holding the hilt, and together we plunged it into the monster. It screamed, cursed, fought, and threatened us. It told us that without it, we would be alone, that everyone would know the stain of shame on our souls, that only it would ever truly understand us, love us. We didn't stop. We kept going until it was small enough to fit in my hand. I picked it up, and then dropped it into a box with more of our little notes inside. We closed the box together and slid the thumb into the little slot at the top. We had done it. We decided to join the redacted task force. Our home now is used as a base, seeing as we have plenty of room. It's so happy here, smiles everywhere, and if we ever have any issues with each other, we don't shut down. We are open and honest. We have helped others, and in doing that, we grow stronger. Ally is doing amazing. She started school, and has so many friends. They can't help but love her, seeing as she is pure sunshine. She even started dating a very sweet girl from her class. I'm so proud of her. Another member of the task force, Jason, and I have started seeing each other casually. He is super amazing. We understand each other. Ally loves to tease him. Our lives are so full of people we love, and who love us. In the basement, there is a little row of boxes, most with a single name, but one with two. Sometimes you will hear banging coming from down there, occasionally even a growl or scream. When we do, we all go down, holding hands. The person whose box needs to be subdued steps forward, then reminds their monster that this is their life, and that it can't take anything from them unless they allow it. Ally and I face our box together. At first, our box was very active, but as we grow, it needs less and less reminding. We can never ignore it though. If we learned anything from this, it is that pretending the monster doesn't exist gives it strength, and it was to grow strong enough again. Just remember, you can defeat your monsters, but they will never truly go away. You can silence them, make peace with them, and show them how wrong about you they are, but if you neglect to deal with them when they start to reach into your consciousness, well then, they will take over.